Mr. Chairman, we've got to start in Minneapolis. It's a tragic situation. The videos make it really clear that the administration is lying about everything that's going on there.
Yeah. I mean, this is Alex Preddy was the best of us. When you talk about people that serve, he was a nurse uh, at a veterans hospital and somebody that was peacefully protesting and was shot in broad daylight while on the ground, while having at least 10 officers on top of him at the time. What's happening in this country is it's awful. And, I'm proud that every Democrat in the House that's from Michigan voted against continuing funding for DHS with what we're seeing. And I'm proud that both of our senators have said that they won't vote for it as well. Enough's enough at this point. And all of our hearts go out to Minnesota, goes out to his family. And the fact that they're trying to demonize him now, this is somebody who has a family. I mean, his parents are devastated. And for the Trump administration to try to act like he was a domestic terrorist with such an awful language to use against somebody who just disagrees with what's happening. They have thrown out the Constitution. They are literally pulling people up. They pulled a police officer over and demanded paperwork, boxed her in. I don't know if you saw that press conference of the local police. And so now, this is not about whether you back the blue or not. This is about whether you support the ideals of what America stands for. And in America, you cannot pull somebody over and just ask for their papers. In America, you can't get you need a warrant signed by a real judge, not somebody who works for you to enter somebody's home. In America, it is patriotic to stand up to our government, and you have a right to do so. In America, you have a right to carry a weapon without being shot as well. This is a violation of the First and Second Amendment.
You were a
And
member of the
so
Senate when we had armed protesters, not just around the Capitol, but in the Capitol and in the gallery, and nobody
and no
was
one
shot
arrested
then.
that. No one even arrested them. Walt, no one even talked about arresting them. At some point, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. At some point, as an American, you have to look at this and say that this is a gross violation of who we are as a country. I think that we as a party cannot shy away while this is happening. We need to be loud voices in opposition. We need to stand up and say that we stand with the American people and the Constitution, and that this having people that don't have any training, obviously in de-escalation or almost, I mean, it's anybody who looks at that, they are not in control of the situation in any way, shape, or form. These people cannot be brought into our streets. Uh, as and they certainly shouldn't be brought into our streets by the federal government. And so, and now Christy Nome basically asking to be paid off. That if you just give us your voter rolls, if you just give up your state's rights to manage elections, if you just ignore all of the rights that you have and hand all that information to the federal government, we will stand aside.
It's a hostage situation.
Exactly. You don't negotiate like that. This is not a negotiation. This is a right or wrong issue. We have now had, two different protesters murdered in the streets of Minnesota. I am tired of having the administration blatantly lie to all of us, and any reasonable human can see that they're lying. And so, at some point, when you have a rogue agency that doesn't respect the Constitution and is lying to the public and lying to our Congress, it's important for Congress to say enough is enough. I'm proud of every Democratic member from Michigan who made that vote, and I'm proud of our senators who said they won't do it. And I hope that all Democrats will stay strong. And I hope a few Republicans will have some damn courage and finally say enough is enough.
Well, let's move to something that's turning out to be quite entertaining, and that is the Republican campaign for the gubernatorial nomination. You've got a circular firing squad with everybody taking shots apparently at John James and back and forth to see who can be the Trumpiest. And now we've got a new candidate who says he's willing to drop $7 million of his own money into the
9
campaign.
million, Walt. You said nine.
No,
He's up there.
excuse me.
Yeah, $9 million.
Inflation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, he spent 7 million the first time and then couldn't even end up on the ballot. Ran as a quality guru, but didn't have the sense to check his own signatures. And then after that, ran for president apparently and spent $8 million. I think we all know how successful that was.
He
I
did get his
don't,
picture on TV once with that.
which is a super great way to spend it. With all the problems people have in this country, it would seem that there would be a better way to spend $9 million. And now is going to be running for governor. And listen, I think it just adds to the long list of losers who are running on the Republican side for governor. I mean, that being said, one thing I agree with Perry Johnson on is that John James is a terrible candidate. I mean, he's been running for governor out of his basement. He's refused to show up and for his own constituents. I mean, there's been no town halls in Macomb County. In fact, we've had to do people's town halls there just so people could be heard while he's living over in Grand Rapids. So, I mean, I think John James has run a terrible campaign. If I was a Republican, Perry Johnson wouldn't add much hope to my equation, but it does certainly show that a Democrat is the most likely person to be elected governor if we do the work, and we're putting the work in every single day here.
And that $9 million, most of that'll go into TV advertising, which undoubtedly is going to damage whoever ends up with the nomination on the Republican side,
Well, yeah,
which
I mean,
in
like
all likelihood is not going to be him.
most of it will go in John Yob's pocket. I mean, I think we all know how those things work. I mean, I think at the end of the day, he's also running the Virgin Islands Republican Party, which I can't imagine. It's a heck of a
Well, that's
day
a good
job.
gig.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. Certainly the weather's better than here. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think the most fascinating part of the most telling part of all it was he thinks if he can get to 20%, that Donald Trump will endorse him, and that's why he'll win. I mean, to tell you how out of touch these people are, they are all clamoring for the endorsement of a guy who's 12 points underwater in Michigan. I mean, like they're all so desperate to get the love and honor of their dear leader, Donald Trump, even though he's a anvil around their neck when it comes to the actual general election. So, he's going to spend $9 million just to impress Donald Trump and hope that Donald Trump will endorse him. I don't know. It's been a wild ride over on the Republican primary side for governor. And Perry Johnson certainly adds to it. But anytime you base your business and your reputation on quality and can't even turn in non-fraudulent signatures, that should let what kind of quality guru you are.
And all of these candidates are saddled with the Trump record on things like the economy and like the immigration enforcement and what ICE is doing and the 2 murders by ICE. And they can't get away from that. And all of those are just monumentally unpopular.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, like if you think about it, I mean, I don't know if you saw in Minnesota today, one of their candidates for governor dropped out and said that that the Republican Party and Donald Trump has made it impossible for a Republican to win in Minnesota, and that what's happening is disgusting and wrong. He had the courage of his convictions to say it's wrong. The problem in the Republican Party right now is if you say anything Donald Trump does is wrong, you get attacked and they try to drum you out of the party. So they can't disagree with anything Donald Trump does. But the problem they have is that most voters do. Most voters don't like tax cuts for billionaires while cutting health care for people. Most voters don't like the fact that we were promised they'd be focused on America. Their prices haven't gone down, and he's focused on Venezuela and Greenland and wherever else in the world. Most voters don't like the fact that a violation of our Constitution and for people's rights are happening every single day in Minnesota, and they get to watch on TV how the federal government treats its own citizens. I think that Donald Trump is incredibly unpopular, but the fact that these Republicans go, well, I can't win a Republican primary without him, should tell you that they're going for a narrower and narrower band of voters, and that's good for Democrats heading into the elections. Bad for our
One
country, well, bad, really bad for our country.
Absolutely, and the anniversary this last week of the Roe versus Wade, which was overturned by the Supreme Court, is a good example of why ultimately, as entertaining as it is, all of these policies have reverberations that have tremendous impacts on every American.
Yeah, we are less free than we were when Donald Trump was elected president the first time. We as a people, and whether that is the right to your own body, whether that's right to not be illegally searched or seizured by the federal government, whether it's the right to protest and not be murdered by your government, whether it's the right to have access to the Second Amendment without being murdered by your government. Each of us are less free than when this president started. Unfortunately, it's a pattern of behavior of the government getting to choose. Um, I always thought Republicans were for small government. That was supposed to be the idea, and at least they had an argument to make. This isn't that. This is the attempt to centralize power, whether it's over a person's about when and where they start a family, whether it's how they protest, whether it's any of those things. What we're seeing is a government that believes that what they want is more important than what the people want, and that is a very dangerous place to be in America.
Let's close on a positive note, and that is a celebration which the party has on a regular basis of excellence in public service. And you and the party have set up one for April at the Legacy Dinner, honoring somebody
Legacy
who's had
dinner, yes, April 18th. It is the day before convention. If you're coming to convention, you can get your tickets now for Legacy dinner the night before. We are bringing in female governors around the country to honor Governor Whitmer and her 8 years of service to the state. So it's going to be a fun night. Those that were at Legacy Dinner last year know that we did it uh, efficiently. We're not trying to have 5-hour dinners here at the Michigan Democratic Party. And more importantly, we awarded people from around the state that do the work every single day. And that's really, to me, the most important part of Legacy is that it's not just about the speakers or it's certainly not about the chicken dinner. What it's really about is the relationships that we have to the people that do the work in the party, and honoring them. And so when we planned our first Legacy dinner under my administration, we wanted to try to get back to that whole focusing on honoring the people that do the work. And so I hope people will help honor them. Reminder that we're not buying ads with this money. We're not hiring consultants. This money is about boots on the ground. It helps pay for our staff that's doing the work every single day. We're one of only 4 state parties in the country that have a full-time organizing program. We're one of only 3 that has a full-time voter protection program. That only exists because of the people that are willing to invest in the party. And so we hope to see you at Legacy Dinner, and hopefully you'll support the work that we do on the ground every single day.
Yeah, and make sure you invite future Governor Amy Klobuchar to the dinner as well. One more woman governor, and it looks
I
like
don't Is
she's
she
a
running
lock.
or not? I don't
Yeah, she announced yesterday she's gonna be filing this week.
Fantastic. Well, I look forward to maybe we can get people that are running for governor as well.
We've got a bunch of them. We got a bunch of them.